How's it going, everybody? This is Dave again from the Wackadillies here. I had to upgrade my controller in my golf cart, so I also upgraded the multi-solenoid forward and reverse system. Because with the old system, you may find you're going to burn up the forward and reverse switches fairly easy. So I did a little talking online and found out that the multi-solenoid is best for anything over, say, 400 amps. So to do this, I started with a White Rogers, the 2023 Revision A. It's a Type 586-117 111, and this is a solenoid you can use for both forward and reverse, and you're going to need two of these. So if you look at them, you have two small posts and two large posts on one side, and then that is the model right here. It's a 36 volt system solenoid, and then on the bottom you can see there's two large posts here. So you have two large, two small, two large on the bottom. You're going to need two of these items, like I said, and it's the 2023. And then you need one master solenoid. This one has two large poles and two small posts on it. And this is the master solenoid. It's a 2105 Rev A Type 586-117 111. All right. And it has no posts on the bottom. You could see here. This is the sticker on it. This has got the type it is. And this schematic is kind of complicated, and I added some colors in here in a couple different spots to run wires because the EasyGo schematic does not work too well with what I did, and that was put in the forward solenoid here, the reverse solenoid there, and then the main solenoid here. And I also put in an 8 horsepower motor. So I needed the extra power from my controller, so I made that 500 amps to run the 800 horsepower motor, and then I had to put these solenoids in here to handle the voltage and amperage going through the system. Your average solenoid won't handle it. You're going to have to go with something like this. I would use the forward, reverse, and main solenoid system. And this system also includes your ITS switch, your simple key switch, and then the three-position toggle switch, I should say. So you're going to need all those items. And like I said, with the controller, this is an upgraded controller. You can see with the schematic, the instructions are over here. Utilize all the parts listed in the video. They include the Curtis controller, 8 horsepower motor upgrade, and the multi-solenoid F&R components. The schematic shows all the connections, but I did delete the reed wire. You don't really need it. It charges fine without it, in my case. And there's an orange reverse beeper wire I took off. It was killing my power for some reason, and I really don't care for that beeping noise anyway, so I ended up taking off this wire here, disconnecting this reverse alarm. So you don't need the black wire for negative, and you don't need the orange wire for positive going there. And also, the only connection you need for your orange wire is at the bottom of your multi-solenoid switch or toggle switch, is to go from the switch down to this rear small stud, and that's on your reverse solenoid, so it knows to go in reverse. Otherwise, there's no need to run it to J5 over here on your controller. There's no need for the reverse. And then, as I said, I took out from where you plug in your charger, I took off that. It's the red-white wire. It goes to the reed. They call it a reed wire. So we'll move on. So here you can see the connections actual made on the controller. Your B minus here, negative. Your M wire here, M1 I believe. And then I have positive here, B plus. All right, and you could see the master solenoid down here. We'll get to that a little further. So on the master solenoid, you can see B positive coming in on the right side of the switch, and this is from the forward of the cart looking back. And then on the left you have another B positive going out. So you're going to have 2 black wires on the front of this and 3 reds on the back of the master. And we'll show you where they go soon. So one of the reds goes to the controller, another red goes into your harness, into your key switch area, and then this other red one, oh, I can't remember offhand, it's in my schematic, but you'll see where it goes. And then your 2 negative wires. Then this is your forward solenoid over here. This is the rear solenoid. And more or less you have a couple jumper wires on here that are jumping from one to the other solenoid. And you'll see the wiring in the schematic for that. And then actually here's where I explain a lot of the wiring. This is the rear of the golf cart back in here. I put a little box up here for you, and this is the front. So looking from the rear forward, this is how you're going to wire this, or from the forward back, this will be your right side where the battery bank is. This is the charger wire with the reed wire. There's the disconnected reed wire. It should go here. I disconnected it. Then your rear solenoid is on the right. Your forward solenoid is on the left. Your master solenoid is behind those. I actually made a bracket for both of these, and I use the old reverse and forward switch. I used the bottom plate. I took it off, and then I just put a piece of plywood there. You don't want to make that out of metal because that could just be another contact point. So I made it out of wood. You can use plastic, I'm sure. So here's the master solenoid. This is the controller. Like I said, it's a Curtis 500 amp 1205M-5606. They actually make an aftermarket Chinese version of this, and I did buy one of those and try it, and I didn't like it. It stutters, and I thought it was the ITS switch, but it wasn't. It was the controller, so I did away with it. And they're only $100 and some bucks compared to this, which I think I paid $400 and some for. So then here's your orange wire. Like I said, I disconnected this from everything, but the one position on the reverse solenoid down here, you could see it. That's the only one I left on there. I don't have it connected to anything else. And of course, you have your battery bank here. This would be your negative pole, positive over here. As I said, this is the charger white wire, and then your negative from the charger receptacle would go over to the negative pole. This is your blue wire here. I know you can't really see it too well, but that blue wire, that's for your key switch. That's your positive wire. Battery bank, positive, I already talked about that. Then the green wire, that's for the key and the ITS switch. So you're going to need to make sure your green wire is hooked up correctly. And as I said, charger black wire, battery bank. All right. So this pretty much gives you all the instruction you're going to need throughout this slideshow. This is your reverse and forward solenoids, and I wrote on them so that I could remember which one was where, and I even wrote on which wires go where, so it makes it easier. I put what my poles were here, B plus, B minus, and you're going to have a couple motor wires running up and down from your motor, the A1, A2, S1, S2. And that's all listed in the instructions up in my schematic, which is right here. So you could see all your wires from your motor, how they hook to the solenoids. And just follow these wires and these instructions, and you should have no problem. It took me a good couple weeks to make this schematic, and I have a couple different instructions here. Number 2 on controller for black, green goes to the key switch, red main solenoid rear post, white goes to number 3 on your controller. So just pay attention to the color of your wires. You can see white, black, green, red, orange, green. This is your blue wire, red wire. So just pay attention to the colors, and you shouldn't have any problem. All right. And if you do, post a message on there. I'll try to help you out. I haven't seen any other videos on how to do this work, because it's just very complicated it seemed, and even the company I bought the parts from didn't really help me much. So that's why I had to come up with my own instructions and a PowerPoint, and then I printed this up and I went to work and wired it, and it worked, and it works fine. My wife's very happy. But that's what you're gonna need to do, all right, you guys? Like I said, any questions, leave me a post. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot. Again, this is Dave from the Wackadillies. I post these kind of things in different videos, different machines. I have motorcycles, snowmobiles. We have a great time where we live in the country, and it's always something going on. And I do my own work. So, hope I help somebody out there. You guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.